Here are some reminders to help you get the most out of your Dive Math 6.5 CDs. First, work the problems with me. Work every practice problem that I work and write down everything that I write down. Remember too that my practice problems, they aren't the same as the practice problems in that particular lesson that you're doing. They're similar, but they're not the same. So if you need some extra practice, do the ones in the book as well. Next, pause and rewind until you understand. This is one of the things that makes doing a lesson on a CD so much better than a live classroom, is that you can rewind the teacher. You can just rewind and rewind until you understand a particular concept. So make sure and take advantage of that. Also, remember when you're working the practice problems, do a couple of them with me. Then if you think you understand how to do the next one, pause the CD, work it yourself, fast forward to the answer. If you got it right, great, go on to the next one. If you got it incorrect, rewind and see what you did wrong. You also need to make sure and do the facts practice, mental math, and problem solving section that's at the top of each lesson. Do one of those at least once per week. And those facts practice tests, you need to make at least a 90% or greater on those. Otherwise, you need to do them again. You should also time yourself on those facts practice tests and try to beat your previous time. Also, remember to do all the problems in every problem set and also do all the tests that are in the test booklet. And there are instructions in the test booklet as to when to take those tests. It's also important in Math 6.5 to show your work. You'll be learning lots of skills working with fractions and with division where you need to show your work or you'll get too confused about how to solve the problem. So make sure and show your work when you need to. Don't use a calculator though. You don't need a calculator at all in Math 6.5, so just leave it alone. And finally, have a good attitude. The best math program in the world won't make a bit of difference if you don't have a good, hard-working attitude. Be thankful that you have a nice computer with speakers and a cool CD lesson to work on and to learn from. Not everybody has that advantage that you have. God has given you a great opportunity here to have an excellent education, and part of it is up to you as to your attitude and what you make of this opportunity. So work hard, do your best to learn these lessons, and I know that God will bless you for that. Lesson 1 has two parts. The first part is on counting sequences and the second part is on identifying digits. Let's look at counting sequences first. Counting numbers, what those are just like the numbers that you would count like on your finger. Say you started with your left hand and your pinky and you'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you go over to your right hand 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so those are counting numbers. 1 through 10 is what we consider counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we have 10 fingers. Just because we stop at 10 fingers doesn't mean that's how many counting numbers we stop at. You can just keep going, 11, 12, and so on. The thing to think about when we think about counting numbers is that we count by ones. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. We add 1 each time when we're talking about counting numbers. Now we could also count by twos. That's something different. That's called a sequence. We could have like 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Your body is designed, God designed you with 5 fingers, 5 toes. Counting by fives is fairly natural for you to do. So you could count in that kind of a pattern too. 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. So these are called sequences. It's a pattern of numbers. So differentiate that between counting numbers. Counting numbers are just when we count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. We just add 1 each time. Sequence, we count by 2s or 3s or 4s or 5s or something greater than just counting by ones. Let's do some practice problems dealing with sequences. Look at the sequence that I have here in practice problem A. 6, 9, 12. What I want you to do is find the next 3 numbers in that sequence. And so you can see that you're adding 3 each time. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. So that would be the next three numbers in that sequence. Try another one. 10, 15, 20. What you do is you recognize the pattern on these and you say, okay, that's counting by fives. So the next one would be 25, 30, and then 35. So when you're doing a problem where they say find the next few numbers in a sequence, you have to recognize the pattern that's presented there. Let's do one more of these. Remember, my practice problems are not the same as the practice problems in the book. They're a little bit different. So if you need extra help, do the practice problems in the book. For example, these practice problems for lesson 1, they're on page 2 and 3 in your book. So recognize the pattern there in practice problem C, 11, 13, 15. And hopefully you can see there that you're adding 2 each time to each next number, to the next number in the sequence there. 11 plus 2 is 13. 13 plus 2 is 15. 15 plus 2 would be 17, then 19, then 21. So sequences, all those are is a pattern of numbers. Now let's talk about identifying digits. Digits, that's just a special name for a type of number, and they just have one numeral in a digit. For example, let's just go ahead and write down all the different digits that there are. You would start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All of these are digits. So digits, that's just a special name for an individual number or numeral. And there's a certain group of numbers that make up the digits, and that's 0 through 9. It's the counting numbers 0 through 9, right? Because counting numbers, you add 1 each time, so we could think of those as the counting numbers 0 through 9. Let's say you had a phone number. $259-8808. Now you might have heard of somebody say, what are the last 4 digits of your phone number? Well, the last 4 digits of this phone number are 8808. The last digit of the entire phone number is an 8. The first digit of the phone number is a 2. So just keep that in mind. A digit, all that is an individual number 0 through 9. It's an individual counting number if we want to be real specific. An individual counting number between 0 and 9. Look at practice problem D. What I want you to do is tell me how many digits are in that number, 25,429. Well, all you do is just count up individual digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 digits in that number. Look at this number, 4,037. How many digits are in that number? Well, again, just count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 digits. 4 individual counting numbers that make up 4,037. Look at this problem, problem F, that number 21 there. What I want you to do is tell me what is the last digit in that number. And so when we think about the last digit, we think of the one that's the farthest to the right. And let's just circle it. That would be the 1, right? That's the farthest to the right. That's the last digit in that number. Let's do one more problem. What is the last digit in this number? 218,447. Well, again, all the last digit means means the number that's on the far right of that big number, the digit to the far right. And so that would be 7. 7 is the last digit in 218,447. So digits, all those are individual counting numbers between 0 and 9. Okay, well that's all for lesson 1.